Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay. Alright. I'm hoping to pull this up so I can see comments coming in. The volume is down. Okay, so I can pull this up. Hi Katie. I'm not seeing everybody's comments here. I have to rewind or something here. Okay. Hi Sandra. Hi Nancy. Hi Frank. It won't let me. Oh, no, that's definitely not what I wanted, was a big screen in my face. Hi Christina. Hi Terry. Hi Patty. The only thing is with this device, I only see like 2 or 3 comments. So I'm trying to figure out how to, unless I watch it on my phone, that might work. Let's see. Okay. Alright. So I can see everybody's comments. Kathy, you're coming to see me, huh? In 2 weeks. I don't even see my schedule anymore. It's too much. It really is. I'm exhausted. I don't know if you guys can tell. Hi Christy, I'll be at your place tomorrow. Yay, excited. Excuse me. Let's get down and dirty into the nitty gritty. I'm so excited for this convo. I've been waiting for you to go rogue. I am going rogue. You would be correct. I want to go to my website real quick. Farah, I am very exhausted. Yes. Let's see. So I want to announce some changes to the website. As you guys are all aware, I hate the word medium. I hate the word psychic. And yeah, I need my cereal. I'll probably do it tonight. My earpiece is doing, that's a little weird. Anywho. Hi, Estrina. Okay. So, I've made some changes to the website. Instead of calling it a medium reading, it is called a spirit communication therapy. I have a lot of people that say that the sessions are a lot like therapy. When you come out of it, especially today, I had one that said, man, it feels like I'm in therapy. Yeah, that'd be about right. So, I don't like the cliche of categorizing what I do with others, because what I do is not even close to what others do. What I'm doing is specific. So, if you are seeking to talk to your loved ones, it is now called Spirit Communication Therapy. If you are looking to talk to your spirit guides, it is going to be a spirit guide oracle reading, not an angelic reading. Hi, Mary. It is going to be a spirit guide oracle. I never understood that with the whole angelic reading, because it's not your angels talking to you, so I never really understood that. So it is definitely it's definitely changed on the website. When you call in, you can specifically ask for those one or those two things or together. Mary, I'm a little tired. A lot's been going on. I am so booked that I am doing readings at the shop, coming home, eating, and then doing online night readings into the night. And there's a waiting list to have you be on the, like, if somebody cancels, then you're on the list of getting called in. So it's in high demand, and I know a lot of you guys are waiting for your one card pulls, but I have been run down and tired, and it's really hard for me to do. I wanted to do it, but it's trying to find the time. Mary, I did have a me day on Tuesday, but I really didn't enjoy it too much. I think when I do have me time, I still am, my mind is at work and stuff, so it doesn't really work out for me. Okay, so tonight's live feed is not going to be for everyone. And I can't, my mission here is not to last very long. I really don't actually know how long I have, but all I know is I feel like there's a speeding up of time, that I have to get some stuff done. This is where they're talking to me and I can't think because they're talking. You know what, Farah, it's not, I don't think it's sad. I think it's one of those days that I wish I wasn't here today. It's one of those frustrating days. Actually, it's been a frustrating week. Let's put it that way. I'm not one to have confrontation. I'm more of a mediator. And this week I had to tell two people they couldn't return to the shop because they were making sexual comments or sexual advances to either me or to my assistant. So I had to deal with that this week, and it was a little daunting to say the least. Hi Courtney, hi Linda. Okay, so Mary, thank you. Kara Carnes, you always talk about not having enough time or how much time. Yeah, I'm having a really frustrating week. Yeah, you could say that. But it's been Maria just getting on me about getting the books done, to get them out to you guys, to get the oracle cards done for those that want to find answers and don't want to pay somebody else. So I'm trying to make them easy enough for somebody that isn't really connected to be able to understand what they're pulling with the cards. So it's just finding the right artist to do the artwork. I think I'm being a little picky. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just one of those weeks. So today I wanted to discuss a lot of things. A lot of this stuff you guys are, well, I don't know what kind of group is happening or creating right now. Some of you might walk out, and some of you might stay and be intrigued and want to know what I'm talking about. And that's okay if you walk out. It's just the learning level of you accepting what's being said. Anytime you have truth, I love the hearts, guys. Anytime you have truth, you're going to get a migraine, you're going to get dizzy, tired, nauseated. Sometimes you'll get nauseated, but mostly it's a headache that you'll get, and a little dizzy, and that has to do with truth being said. And I'm trying to figure out how can I'm wondering if I can post something like a picture. I don't think it's... Let me see if I can... Nope, it won't let me. Hey, Estrina. Can you... Estrina, you're on. Can you post a picture? Will it let you? So, real quick, who here has bought a galactic candle from me? Mary, yeah, my abilities are changing again. Well, not changing, they're adapting. Let's see, trying to compare. Okay, never mind, Estrina. Maybe I can put it up in a post. Let me try that. I might be able to do that for you guys. Well, then that means you have to come out of the video and look. So that's not gonna work. What was I saying? Where were we going with this? Oh, the galactic candles. Oh my gosh, Maria just reminded me. Okay. Well, Kimberly, we're actually going to get into that. Deanna, you can PM me, but I don't know what you're PMing me about. I think I missed that somewhere behind in the back here. Yeah, I can do that. I could show it on a different device. BRB. I get very, very cold very easily, so I always have to have heaters or heating pads on my feet. Okay, so Rachel, you bought a candle. Are you feeling the vibration? Because I'm getting emails from clients that I bought the candle, and a lot of them are asking me if it's normal to feel a vibration. And I'm going to tell you, yes, very much it is, because that's the point of it. It's to set out a vibration. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hi, Katie. So, Rachel, I just wanted to see if you were actually feeling the vibration yet from your candle, like most others have been. I think a lot of them were a little concerned with the vibration. It is vibrating. When I make it, I shake a lot, especially with the last symbol of closing it off. So I'm sending myself some pictures so that I can pull them up for you. Okay. All right. So let me pull those up. Like I said, a lot of you are not going to be open to today's message, but I'm going to tell you it's a great message. Hi, Teresa. Or is it Tracia? Teresa? It's Teresa, right? Let me see something here. Hold on real quick. Hold on, guys. Alright, I found the pictures, so now I'm just... Can insert candle picture when live video's on. Can't insert... Oh. I wasn't trying to do a candle picture, I was trying to do another picture. Okay, so... Okay, I'm just making sure I can see your guys' comment, because on this thing I can only see 2 or 3. Okay, so a lot of this video is going to... I do love the scent that is given off when burning. But Rachel, are you... I don't know if I caught your comment, but have to burn at 2 a.m. I have bought a... Okay, so are you feeling the vibration? I think is what I'm trying to find out. I did not shake. Okay. Some are having shakes, some are not. So just to those that are buying one and you are getting vibrations or shakes or headaches even, it is normal. That's normal with the candle, because the symbols that I'm etching into them have vibration, so they are going to push out a vibration. So yes, it is very, very normal. Hi Brenda. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture. Okay. The purpose of the candle is to... It's not from here. The candle is, but the symbols are not. The symbols are galactic, and they are to help to manifest things in your life, to help you with things. It's like having a galactic best friend walking with you. Okay, so the picture I'm showing... And I know a lot of you are going to get a little freaked out by the picture. And as Farah says, she's going rogue. So yes, and I'll explain why I'm showing you the picture. I don't know if you can see. I'm looking at your comments, guys. Connie, that would make sense because I do tend to go in people's dreams. And here I'm just going to... This isn't a great picture, but it shows you the eyes having identical color. Okay. Ow. Okay, so those are the pictures I wanted to explain to you. A lot of souls here are not from here. Well, a small portion of them. And I know that the picture looks creepy because it's out of your norm to accept somebody walking down the street looking like that. I'm trying to figure out where to start, but Rachel, yes, galactic female. Terry, you're funny. Rogue is the only way I like when you get down and dirty. Mary, yes, because that picture is me. I am not from here. A lot of people, a lot of the souls are not from here, and a lot of the souls that come to me for readings, they think they're coming to me for readings, and it ends up towards the end of the session that they find out who they really are, and then they want to come back more. No kidding, my son just said to me, I want to see the picture because he could hear you. So I showed him and he said, some people may think it's an alien, but to me looks like from another dimension. And Angela, he is very much correct. Aliens are us, we are them. They're just more advanced in their learning. How you want to learn is how you're going to learn. So if you want to learn in a certain way, it's picking that kind of path to learn from. Well, I would hope so, Terry. I would hope I'm inviting. I'm not that scary. Okay, so basically I'm just going to describe it like this. Your home planet, heaven, okay? That's home base. I use police jargon, so this is home base, okay? So say, for example, you have all these other planets, dimensions out here, okay? So your very first one isn't Earth. So say maybe, for example, I picked Kalinian, or Kalinia is where I'm from. Kalinia, I will be pulled back to Kalinia because that was the original creation that I was created in, besides heaven. So basically, when you pick a dimension you want to learn from, it's putting on a costume. You make it look pretty. Well, in this realm, you make it look pretty, and you do the life that you chose for yourself. But it's a mapping, so everything that's in your life you put there, everyone you put there, and it's simply going with the soul path or soul contract that you came up with. So the spirit guides that are talking to you, the small voice in your head that sounds like you, it's not you having conversations with yourself. It is your spirit guides talking to you. Kara, I was led to that picture, and immediately Marie had started showing me, and I was getting flashbacks of my life review, because a life review is very similar to the and I hate saying it, the word, because I always mess it up, at the Ashtic records, and I know I'm probably saying it wrong, or the Akkad. She's trying to correct me. I'm just not getting it. Akashic records, I think, is what she's trying to say. So wait, who? I keep getting the word illusion. What does that mean? Sharon, I'm not sure. I was just led to the picture and immediately was shown that I was her and she was me. Life is not illusion. Life is life. You're living, and God created you as living, as breathing, as a soul that's being, and it's not an illusion. But however, the life you choose is, if that makes any sense. Like, all of this is here and you're living it, but it is really, actually, it's not hardcore. It's really hard to describe this stuff to you. I have it in my head, but trying to get it into words is really difficult. Okay, let me put it this way. You are in a movie and you're playing a play, and you're the main character in your own play, and you're the producer, executor, the script writer. This is your play, and this is how it's playing out because you created it, you wrote it, so it's your play. So this creation, and basically what's in your life, you are putting there. So if you have a lot of negative things going on, it's simply you pulling that in, because you want to learn from it, that in that aspect. It's not until you change your mind, learn a different way, and that's how you change the outcome. A lot of these dimensions do not have war. They do not have politics. They do not have religion. The way it was shown to me when I was in heaven was that religion and politics is a type of need. And when you don't need something, it's not going to create itself. Like, for example, there is a realm that, actually there's many different dimensions that they're of telepathic communication. They all understand one another. They all have this oneness going on. And it might seem boring and bland to somebody from the outside, but when you look at the core of it, it's very harmonious, it's very collective, and they don't have a governing politicians or a governing concept, and they don't have police or, you know, things of this nature, because there's no violence going on. They don't really believe it, and there's no religion because there's no need to have to want for something to replace something else. So a lot of people get drawn to religion because there's a need, there's a want that's missing from their life that they're trying to fulfill here, and they think that religion is going to do this, when really it's themselves and God that do this. How long was I in heaven? Again, there is no time in heaven. No, politics is not in heaven, Missy. Oh, you guys crack me up. There is a council that makes the final decisions on certain things. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I try. Sorry, Maria's talking to me and I kind of just lost track. What we were just talking about, guys? I hate when she does that. Excuse me. And Sue, we can get more into depth with that. Do you guys ever sit and just, there's chitter chatter? Yeah, that's your guy talking. Okay, thank you, Estrina, for reminding me. Somebody had asked how long I was gone. Okay, see, I have ADD. Like, once she starts talking, I lose everything that I was just talking about. Okay, so there is no concept of time. The fourth dimension, there is no time. They don't even understand, you know, how even time is. There is no time in heaven. It just, you know, everything just keeps going around and around, or keeps going and keeps going. But I was getting this question so much that Maria finally just came up with an answer to kind of just satisfy everybody. But every minute here is 1,000 there, if you sum it up in that way. And probably, you know, the concept of me being missing because I was in and out a lot was roughly between maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. I don't even know. But there it would have been maybe 74,000 years. You know, there's no way of telling. But, you know, let's just sum it up to say it was a long time. It's the first discussion I've watched, and so far I love it. To me, space, dimensions, planets, spirits, aliens, etc. are all connected. Well, actually, they really are, and it's and I'm just going to use this as heaven. It's you choosing which realm or dimension you want to learn from. How you learn is you know, your free will, that gift of free will of God saying, okay, how do you want to excel? How do you want to learn? And heaven is all about love and learning from love, and not judging, not placing people in concepts and titles. And I think that's the main reason why I changed the titles to what I do. How we can be here and there. Okay, so Estrina poses a great question of being here and there and other dimensions at the same time, because if you were made in God's image and He can be everywhere, so can you. So, for example, I had a reading this week, and she said, can you explain how I had a memory of my mom and my sister had one at the same time? Like, we figured out it happened at the same time. And I said, it's very simple. When somebody dies, you start getting old memories that you probably wouldn't have thought of, and it's just suddenly surfacing. And that's because your loved one is having a life review, and your soul self is broken into particles, so it can be everywhere. So wherever it's being called, it's going to go, okay? So her and her sister were literally in heaven as soul, doing the life review memory that her mom was reviewing. So both of them are going to get that memory at the same time, because they both were standing there going through that life review with her. And then they got, you know, and then they went back to where, you know, they were supposed to be. You explained this to me about Nikki saying, yes, Missy, exactly. That's a great another great example. Your loved ones don't see you as separate away from heaven. They literally see you still in heaven with them. Because your light, your soul can be broken up. It can learn multiple things all at once. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm here right now, so I'll see you later. Or I'm going to go over here and I'll be back later. It's broken up. It goes all over. I've read where aliens have abducted people. Okay. Now, here's the thing with abductions, and I can just touch on this. They are not intervening. They are not negative in any way. I understand. I'm getting to the point of trying to get you guys to understand that a lot of these abductions go past, if you go past the subconscious, because the subconscious here is trying to make sense of what just happened, so it immediately makes it into something negative. And I'll tell you why. The reason why it's making it, Katie, I asked Maria to answer my question. Did she? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And I'm going to talk about Sirian, Estrina. Not so much the planet, but the solar system. Okay, I'm just reading what Mary Path told me, or was saying. I was with this person though. Mary, now if you are with a loved one and you're reviewing some kind of child past life thing, you literally are, when your loved ones come to you in dream, it is literally them. Your body needs to sleep, your soul does not. Your soul can go off and do all kinds of stuff. It does not matter what you're doing. It does not have to stay still in motion. Your body does, because on this dimension, this planet, it needs certain nourishments, it needs certain energies, it needs certain sleep, whereas another dimension, which I'm going to talk about, they have little slits as mouths, and they don't have to intake certain foods. That they grow certain plants, and off the plants there's this liquidy stuff. Okay, another prime example, which they eat that liquidy stuff. Another prime example is it doesn't rain, but the gravity is so light that when it does, they just describe it as very, what's the right word? Moisture condensed, and it turns into these big water droplets, and they kind of just float around and then dissipate when they need to be, because the gravity's so light that it's collecting in the air. I keep trying to think of how they explained it, like water collecting. What is that called, guys? Why is my brain going dead? Condensation, yes, it's like that in the atmosphere on this one dimension that I keep bringing up, by the way. The very bland, telepathic, and their planet is kind of like a trade area. They don't have commerce, they don't have currency, anything like that. It's more of a trade system. They use their skill to trade with other things. Now, if you guys are seeing things behind me, it's because of what I'm talking about. It's very protected. The second I start talking about an alien race, they are going to start coming in to my environment because I'm talking about them, and they're like, what is she talking about? Okay? So don't be alarmed if things go on around me. Again, I can't explain this enough to you guys. I am not a medium, okay? I am a communicator for spirit, for galactic, for animals, any kind of animal. I can talk to the living and the dead. Someone can sit in front of me and I will know exactly what they're talking about because I'll answer their question before they even start forming the question in their head. Now, I don't do this because I feel like it's an invasion of privacy, but I have the ability of that telepathic from where I'm at. That's why. That's why I knew what to do with these two individuals from this week where I told them they couldn't return to the shop because they think that I can't figure out what they're doing. And I can't have, I'm an employer on top of everything else, and I have to keep my employees safe. So, okay. So, with that said, here's what's going to happen. There's just so much I have to get out to you that this is not going to be the first video I do it with. It's going to keep growing. So again, I'm going back to, I am not a medium. I am a communicator, and I hate being called a medium, and I think that's why I'm trying to get away from it. I am a communicator. Like, let me give you an example. If you come to me for a past life, and say, for example, in that past life, you had a loved one that it started surfacing that you remembered a past loved one that you had left behind from that life. I can actually talk to that loved one from that life, whether it's 1800s, 1700s, or BC. I can still talk to them for you and get that healing closure. And I'm glad that you guys are staying. I keep checking the numbers to see if anybody leaves. They're like, I'm out. Peace. This is too crazy for me. But my point is to bend the mind and get you guys thinking. I mean, really, really thinking. So let me find my notes here. I don't even know where to begin. There is an alien-looking spirit. Okay, now that might be Marta, because anytime I talk about alien things, my general, she's my general where I'm from, a type of protective mediator between what I do here and what I was doing there. She's a type of mediator. Her name's Marta. She's like a guide. I guess you would call her a guide, but she only shows up unless there needs to be some kind of protection going on. The fact is, we have been brought up. Now, that's what I wanted to get at. This realm is so immature compared to how highly advanced these other realms are. And every alien that you come across is going to tell you the same thing. They want to stay as far away from here as they can. The learning here is so heavy and so condensed that it's tragic to be here. I'm going to go take you guys back to Adam and Eve. This was supposed to be a test area. This was supposed to be, and it was, the Garden of Eden. I'm not specifically sure what part of Earth was the Garden of Eden, but I'm getting that area is still not touched, and you can't get to it. There's like some kind of mirage over it that you can't get to it. God, I would even think maybe the Bermuda Triangle, and that's why people are having so much trouble getting across there half the time. Missy, you are not a stupid group. 7 and 12th are very nice to visit. John, what do you mean? In Iraq, here's the thing, Estrina. The issue I have is this place would have never been seen by human. Only the first few humans that were put here. And it wasn't an apple, it wasn't a snake. What went wrong with this perfect, what about being a glitch? And that's what I'm getting to, Alexandra. You definitely are hitting it on the head. The glitch, as she describes it, of where everything went wrong was a meteor that had hit Earth that had a type of bacteria in it. And the bacteria is what created this crappiness. And there was a discussion with the council, do we just destroy it and start over? Do we just destroy our perfect, art that we just created, and do we start over? And it was agreed upon that this free will was given to us to see how would we do, and it started with Adam and Eve. Now the pregnancy part, 'cause I know a lot of people are very confused by that, but they felt that the woman, the female species, would be more inclined to handle having a baby, whereas the male would be of more of the labor and support. And the combination of the two would work in harmony that way. So that's how it came about. But now, as we evolve and we're getting smarter, we're getting all these new inventions. Now, the thing is, they can't come down and intervene, so they're putting these ideas telepathically in the environment about touch screens and, let's see, cars. When cars were created, all this stuff is coming into the environment, and you might have multiple people coming up with the same idea because this is just being laid out in the environment, and a ton of people are picking it up. Amanda stuttered, I have to leave now, Christina, but I will be back to watch the rest on replay. Oh, Amanda, okay, honey. Enjoy your day. I quickly saw I have to leave now, and I'm like, crap, I just ticked somebody off. Oh, well. Crap. I know it's going to happen. Eventually, somebody's going to go, oh, yeah, I'm out. Because it's not your conventional, logical way of thinking here. And I think that's the point of what they're trying to make by giving me this information to give to you, or the knowledge that I already have. Okay, so this meteor hit, and they decided, no, we did all this stuff. Let's just have faith and see how they do. Let's give them the free will. But now, in the 1940s, again, I'm going back to other videos that I've talked about, where that atomic bomb, that energy was out of divine timing and somehow was created, but it wasn't supposed to go against humanity. It was supposed to be used for humanity, but later in time, it wasn't ready to be used. And this is when the chaos really hit. And they're just looking down on us, or looking down, saying, what are these kids doing? What are they doing? So this beacon went out, and the council talked, and yes, there is a prime directive. So the Star Wars prime directive wasn't just, woo. It actually was put into the subconscious. This is an actual thing. A lot of you guys that watch Star Wars, Star Trek, this stuff actually goes on. These are actual ideas coming from them to show you there's more than just you guys. Like, you need to think, you need to be more aware. So it's going back to that directive of them not being able to intervene. So what did they do? They put out a signal of, who can we have volunteer to go down to get them to stop doing this? Because what was happening was, we were at the point of just blowing up Earth, and that cannot happen. This Earth cannot be blown up or gotten rid of, because it will be like a domino effect. It will affect the entire galaxy and all these other dimensions and all these other worlds that are very important to how we learn. So they needed somebody to come down and say, okay, you guys need to stop it. Like, just knock it off. This is not how it's supposed to be. So what needed to happen, because of that meteor, these karmatic episodes were happening. So they needed somebody that didn't have a karmatic background. So they would have sent a pure soul, someone that never has left God, never went to different dimensions, never did any of this stuff. Okay, they've never left heaven. So now you have these pure souls showing up, and then when they get here, they're like, what the is going on? They weren't expecting it to be this bad. So what happened was, you have this heightened suicide rate right around the 1960s, 1970s. So now they're like, okay, we need to figure something else out. So they sent the second beings, the second wave of people or souls to come and help. And then now we're in the third wave, which is these kids that are extremely smart, that are getting that are getting like medicated because they're hyperactive or they're very smart and they are very bored, and when they get very bored they start acting out, and they're not really acting out, they need a better way of learning here. And I don't think that teachers in schools were equipped for these kind of kids. You're having a lot of kids that are playing Mozart on a piano at age 6, 9 months, or even a year. The point of it is they're trying to get us to slip in, or my race and other races are trying to get you guys to conform to the new dimension that's taking place here. It's to slip right into that dimension. Now, this includes a lot of the old going out, so that it's making room for the renewal. So you're seeing a lot of death, high rate of deaths, so suicides, overdoses, accidents, car crashes, older people passing away, getting to say goodbye to their families. I'm going home so that you guys can do this. My time is here is done. My grandmother being one of them, who died in December. She got called back, and they describe, and this was said to me today because somebody else knew about it, and I've never heard anybody else say it to me, so I thought it was kind of neat, that the day you die is the happiest day ever. It's celebrated because you got to do a life, and now you're going home to review it and understand it. So it's a big celebration when you go home. It's the happiest day, where it's, for us down here, it's the saddest day. Kind of sucky how that works out, isn't it? And it's okay to be sad. But I'm getting into this week, like I had said, I'm just having a rough time because I'm lacking the emotions here this week. I'm putting forth my voice when I see that there's an injustice or there's something wrong going on. I'm not holding back. I'm just saying it. I'm tired. I'm drained. And I know that the more that I use my abilities, the more my body is wearing down. Because I'm feeling it. I've been sick all week, on and off. I'll do healing on myself and I'll be okay, and then it comes back again. Because the more I push out healing and the more I communicate to help heal, my body's weighing down. It's wearing down. It's heavy here. Okay, Jamie. Somebody said something, but I think that's why we are drawn towards you, because deep down a lot of us know there's more and have these feelings we can't explain. You give us all the knowledge that makes more sense to us than what we grew up thinking. I tell people when they come to see you, they are instantly going to feel connected. No, Connie, it's not like killing us off. There's an agreement that when you have a lot of mass death, there's an agreement that they agree to go at this specific time. Excuse me. They all agree to go at this specific time so that other things can, flourish or renew here. That's the point of it. We're getting into this renewal, this new way of thinking past the five senses of hearing, smelling, sniffing, and seeing, and all this stuff. We're getting past all that. I'll give you an example. You guys are seeing beings behind me. That's going past the five senses. That's getting into the fourth and fifth dimension. You're going past time, past the subconscious, past these five senses to see what's going on behind the scenes. You're getting into this dimension where the veil is being lifted. Missy, allergies? No, those have been coming and going. I haven't had them since the day I had your reading, so that's kind of good. I was getting sick of sneezing. Why do I feel someone always touching my hair? Now, Katie, that's just simply a loved one where it feels like your hair is just being lifted, or it feels like something's in your hair. That's a loved one just touching you. It's not meant to be malicious. And yeah, and if you guys are you've been feeling crappy this week, I really do feel that it's this vibration that's heightening, this awareness that something big is coming, this this whole thing is changing. Things are changing on you, and the body is trying to adjust to these changes. My abilities have changed in the last 2 weeks. I am now getting dreams of the souls coming to me, and the people that I will be sitting down with. Like last night, for example, I had a dream about a big mole on my face that suddenly I got skin cancer, and I woke up and I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was a female that was very upset about having this skin cancer. Now, what I didn't know was it was a branching off of 2 readings, one at 12 and then one at 2:30, which both had a female. One had a female and one had a male with skin cancer. So it's this heads up, we're coming, and mention this because this is what they're going to know me by, okay? I have no issues doing readings, whereas before with the energy here I was struggling. Now I'm just sitting there, I'm writing and I'm listening. This is what I'm getting. If it doesn't correspond with you, and a good portion of it does, and some people, you know, you might have a soul that comes forth and they have no idea anything about them, so they're just sitting there going, I don't know. Well, here, take a picture of my notes, take it to somebody who does, and then they can verify because they know better. The ears ringing, that is your guides talking to you. They talk at a high pitch because you are not yet at their vibration, whereas I can physically hear them. I'm past that ringing high vibration. I can actually literally hear them, and a lot of it's telepathic. If you can get past the ringing and get to your mind and use your mind to talk, you won't have the ringing in your ear. That's the point. You have to get past the ringing and go towards the mind. Stop trying to listen here. This is how they talk. Okay, Ashley, it's fine, honey. There is a heightening of dreams. There's a heightening of tiredness. How do you get? It's here, Tara. It's getting past the hearing and going to the mind to listen. A lot of what you're trying to do is listen here. I just wish it wasn't so depressing being a starseed here on Earth. And it really is, Estrina, it really is. Like, this is the week where I'm having a tough time, especially last night into today. And I had even told Yvonne, I'm at the point where I'm frustrated and I am tired and I just want to go home. But I know I can't, so it's doing things to get my mind off of it, like having a live feed. Hi. So it pulls me out of that way of thinking, and to know that I'm here for a purpose to help you. Okay, I was going to talk about how crystals are used in these spaceships, because I think a lot of people wonder how they get around. Maybe the social structure. Do they have leaders? And again, there is no singular leader or nation. It is a global community. There are councils of individuals who set policy, but they are picked by common vote and the consensus of the population. And it's not like a governing, it's a more of mediation. The voting, this kind of voting here, has aspects of politics, and it's a facet of a whole picture. These are just my notes that I'm taking, or that I've taken. Whereas on that planet, the entire picture on the planet is a consensus. There is no competition. Whereas here it's a political competition, but there is no political parties on this particular realm. And actually there's a lot of realms that don't have this politics, religion kind of thing. Now it's okay, they explain that it's okay to have religion because you're at that level still. But once you get past that understanding that that God is everywhere, it doesn't have to be with a specific building with a specific person telling you things that you probably should just research yourself or talk to your guides about. My guide yelled at me today making breakfast, plus cold up and down my arms until I listened. I heard, "Don't eat this." Sure enough, I double checked and it was past date. This is how they talk. This is it. Been feeling really bad months, so tired of it. I was one not to ever get sick. Now kidney stones, ammonia. And Karen, this is a lot of what's coming onto the body for the adjustment, but again, we are self-healers. We can easily self-heal ourselves. Anytime I get a headache, I try not to go for pills. Excuse me. It's the energy draining me. I go more for, like, we have this headache oil, essential oil in my shop, and I put that in my little diffuser in my room. And then I put amethyst near me. Like, I'll just stick it here. I came Justin, I came home early. Was that? I think it was it was yesterday. I came home early. I just walked right past him. I was like, "Hi, I love you." Okay, and I went right upstairs, took my clothes off, put my PJs on, laid in our new bed that I just got us, put this on my head, and had the diffuser going. And he walks in, he goes, "Bad day." A little bit. So that's about it. Okay. So something I wrote down was, and if someone doesn't wish to learn, they don't have to. Okay, let me go past that because that's going too in depth. I'm trying to find like the right stuff. There's no such thing as weapons for person-to-person combat, but there is reptiles in the woods of this planet, which are enormous proportions, approximately about 30 feet tall, similar to dinosaurs, the equivalent to Earth's dinosaurs, that these people would need protected from, but they don't use anything that would hurt the animal. They are repulsed by electrical charges, so this would be an equivalent to trying to train your dog with like a small jolt of don't bark or don't do this or don't leave the yard. It's the same thing. Actually, Carol, I have healed my cat's blindness. I have healed my knee from my car accident because my cartilage was wearing down and I was supposed to get knee surgery and I don't need that anymore. Hi, Monica. This is just one of the planets that I'm describing, like some of the stuff that goes on. I'm trying to find like the best. There's just so much. I probably should have mapped it out better. For example, there are pets on this planet. There are horses or the equivalent of horses, which can be used to draw, as in pull in to see an image. There are only kind that are used. There are domestic animals that are similar to monkeys. There are some that would appear as very strange creatures if they were here on Earth, and which would terrify a youngster. So their animals are very different than ours. So they do have pets. There is no seasons. It stays particularly like a casual warm. They don't get winters. Their housing kind of looks like metallic or like a rough metal, but looks like logs. Or I'm sorry, logs. I should do it this way. Logs. And the warehouses where they store the trade items are in a like a circular dome, but it looks like a a metal round piece. I wish kind of like this, like a metal round piece. That's what it kind of looks like, but it's most of they're not about design. This, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, well, what's the name of the race? Well, that's the thing. They are telepathic and they use musical chord notes to communicate. So there is no name. They don't categorize themselves with names. They see it as a waste of time. Do you believe that there are other races watching us? Okay, now there is tons of races watching us, and I'll tell you why. Because of our progression, they want to see how we're doing. And it's not abductions. What's happening is they're drawing in, and there's a tag that gets put into certain humans, because that particular race is keeping track of their own race that's here volunteering. So once they go on the spaceship and they go past the subconscious, then it's this, oh, I just remembered why I'm here. And it's this, I'm not afraid, I know who you are, I know who you are. I get it now, I get it now, I'm okay now. So it's this calmness that they put them under, and then that amnesia gets lifted, and hey, we need to put this in you because we need to keep track of where you're at, because there's so much going on here, and it's getting heavy and we can't keep track of you. So it's this understanding of, like the government keeping track of us by our phones. It's the same thing. You're getting tagged in a way. They're keeping track of their humans. The frequency of their notes, I'm not sure, but here, hold on. I did write it down. Hold on. Maria did explain it to me. Let me find it. Here where I describe there's energy, everything is energy. Energy can be moved and manipulated just like physical matter. It takes only the realization that it is possible in order to do it, and that goes to you materializing what you want in your own life. You have the power to do that just by the mind. Hold on, I know it's here. I wrote it down. Wait, it might be back here. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here it is. The scientists at this point can detect these rays. Oh wait, I'm skipping. Hold on. Okay, the communications are using natural forces such as gamma rays or cosmic rays, which is taking advantage of a natural phenomenon and not generating it, as scientists on this planet are doing now. The scientists at this point can detect these rays, these natural occurring rays, in their natural state. For example, tuning a radio between stations and you get static. The background cosmetic radiation is, one could say, this kind of static. The scientists have not developed the ability to demonstrate these signals in this natural occurring phenomenon known as cosmetic radiation. Gamma rays, X-rays, this type of thing, the communications going on here are using this bandwidth or this spectrum of radiation to communicate. Therefore, to receive these signals here on Earth, the equipment would have to demonstrate or detect the communications in this spectrum of energy. And the scientists are not getting that. They're not understanding that. But, however, I did find an article, May 29th of 1986, the most ambitious and sophisticated effort ever is being planned to scan the heavens for signals from outer space, but one expert doubts humans will be smart enough to understand the messages even if they did hear them. The title was A Massive Effort Being Planned to Scan for Life in Outer Space. The project, when finished, will search for alien signals throughout the end of the century. These are the first initial steps of what will be a grand exploration of the microwave system. Again, using waves to communicate. NASA announced earlier this year they received frequencies that were not natural in the galaxy. Sounds like the cartoon Miles from Tomorrowland. Binaural beats, it would be one way. I do a lot of binaural beats in my work, and the reason why is it opens up to an awareness. It opens you up to hearing better. And when I get somebody saying, I can't do the meditation you sent me, it's giving me a headache, it's because of the beats. It's opening them up and giving them a migraine. So it's simply when you do a meditation with binaural beats and you're having a hard time with it, it is doing it in 5-minute increments until you build it up so that you can handle it. So 5 minutes, and maybe next time push it to 10 minutes, and so on and so forth. You can even keep your amethyst on you while you're trying to do this if you're prone to getting headaches with binaural beats. Whereas I never got headaches with binaural beats. I think because I'm just used to that noise. Now my daughter, I have to tell you guys this story. It was very interesting. She said, "Mommy, my guide keeps trying to tell me my name from where I'm from." And I said, "Oh." And I already know what she was talking about, but I never try to implant or jump ahead. I let her discover it and her get excited to tell me. But she said it has a lot of clicks and stuff. It doesn't have, it's not like a name like here. It has like clicks and noises to it. And I was like, "Oh, it's interesting." And she hit it on the head. It's just it's hard to have humans here wrap their brains around that, you can't put a name or a title to something. Caroline, it's just it's a race in general that I'm trying to show a difference between ours and theirs. They don't really worry about design or what things look like. They're tan in color, they're smaller in nature. They do have emotions, but they don't push them out. Like, one of the things I started noticing, like just today, for example, I get out of my car and there's these 4 little boys, just very dramatic and drama queen and screaming over a little bee. It was like, I was expecting to see a bunch of girls, and I turn and I see all these boys. I'm just like, and it's just real dramatic. Look at us. Look what we're doing. and being with this race that I've been communicating with, I think that might be where my frustration is, because their planet is very mundane, very quiet. They don't do the, "Oh, look at me." Now I have been getting a lot of people asking me, okay, let me use another example for, like, when I said about design, and I have my note here. Copper is not used on this planet. However, copper would be somewhat of a semi-precious metal there that would be of a decoration only if they did decorate. So it would be diamonds to them, you know what I mean? Where it's diamonds to us. Do you feeling myself go into a really relaxed state? Mary, I hope you're zen. Keep it zen, Mary. You guys, I love you guys. Okay, so there is no equivalent to policemen. And I said this before, everyone is self-enforcing. There is no need for armies or police. A military or law enforcement atmosphere is simply not necessary when everyone is self-policing. Then there's occasionally an inferior person or being, and there are occasionally times where someone who is functioning quite well will become not necessarily non-functioning, but ill-functioning. And mental illness would be the equivalent here as to why that would happen. Now, they do not have prisons or jails. The equivalent would be hospital, where these poor, unfortunate beings are hospitalized and given special treatment. There is no punishment. However, because this is not a willful wrongdoing, this is simply misunderstanding. Okay, so it would be the equivalent of somebody that's mentally not being able to handle being on Earth. So it would be the same thing for them, except they don't put them in jail. Somebody that's acting out and doing bad acts, we put them in jail, when really we should probably put them in a hospital and understand why it's happening, what is going through their mind, what are they not getting that they need. Let me see what else. I'm trying to see what's necessary to talk about. Okay, where I had said about there being rain, no, it's not like on Earth. The rain on Earth is caused by gravity. The gravity is 1/6 of this planet. Okay, so it's lighter. On this planet, it's much more like fog with large drops. It is extremely it's an extreme case of humidity. This occurs during certain shifts of the winds and such. The weather is much more stable, but it does change. It does rain. It does ruin the atmosphere a little bit when it does get condensed with the humidity. It's kind of going into a very thick fog. But this race is very mundane. It's very bland in nature. Their buildings are made of metal. They're just small little beings. They don't have noses. They have a slit for a mouth, and they don't really consume a lot of food. They grow these vegetables and plants and things, and that's where their nutrition and their food comes from. Whereas on the fourth dimension, let me kind of go into that. Hold on. We have been taught that there are only 3 dimensions in our material world: length, width, and depth. The fourth dimension, called time, which would definitely not be physical or solid, and it doesn't use time. It's just an equivalent of time if you want to put 2 and 2 together. Let me kind of go into this. So, for example, they have respected advocates or mediators to settle arguments where there is, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm going back to the whole war and disputes and things like this, and arguments where they don't argue. It's more of a different, they describe it as a different viewpoint, to assist both sides in seeing the rightness of the other's position. So it's making them switch positions to see the other point of view, and assisting both to accept a common agreement. The personality, okay, so say for example, we have badges here, we have titles here. There, the personality would be a badge of sorts, because the personality would reflect the job. So the personality is the badge, I guess, in a way. You can instantly know who someone is and what they do by just meeting them. People here on Earth wear uniforms to say who they are because you don't have this instant recognition. If you were to meet a policeman and you instantly or intuitively knew that he was a policeman, you wouldn't need the uniform. See? This is also another place for mental communication and intuition. Now, I was not expecting to go in and start talking about the fourth dimension, but apparently we're getting pushed into that because apparently you guys are doing good and they're saying, keep going. Okay. These authorities are very respected for their wisdom. Let's see. I'm trying to see what I should talk about. Okay, there is in the Cygnus constellation at this time, we hesitate to use the term war, for that is not appropriate. There is a strong disagreement between the race of entities who are. The vehicle has no reference points on which to translate this, so we have no background with which to manufacture the concepts here. We will simply try to give the situation. There are 2 races here concerned. This is a disagreement over who has territorial rights to a system of inhabited planets. One race feels that it has claims because they were the first to explore this system. The other race feels claim because they are descendants of this system. The situation is thus, therefore, was transmigration from this system to another planet, and the transmigration resulted in a race of beings which soon developed into an interstellar fleet, or had the capability of such. The civilization had lost track and had soon lost the knowledge of its inheritance from the system, and so after discovery by the first explorers, they realized their kingship in this system and are now claiming title as descendants. So again, it's this is actually going on right now. This is a actual disagreement that's going on in the Cygnus constellation. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are probably just laughing at me. No, I'm just kidding. It is not a war, for there is no violence being enacted. There is simply very intense argument and disagreement There are councils being meeting at councils with representatives of each race trying to reach a form of consensus to arrive at some middle ground wherein both parties will feel that they have achieved their goals. So there is no war. When the mention of guns and things like this were mentioned, they had no idea what I was talking about. There was a question that arose if this would erupt into a war. Would it get to that point? They said they don't go that way. They have disagreements and very heated discussions on this, but they don't resort to violence. They have sent representatives of each side, and they must come to an agreement. Bottom line. Let's see. No, we don't have time because we're on the fourth dimension where there is no time. There would be no need to measure something which does not apply. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let me keep going. So bodies are not born, they are formulated. It is composed as necessary to do the job that is and was meant to do, and as time progresses, as you would say. In other words, it is formed already, fully grown, but it's not in the respect that learning is not accomplished at the beginning. The idea of the purpose is learning, so that at the beginning, or the formulation, there is a lack of learning which would come through experience. And through the experience, the body will change, which would reflect the changes in the personality. Okay? These are just beings of energy. They don't really have bodies, so I'm trying to kind of take baby steps in having you guys wrap your minds around this. The difference is here on Earth, the physical body changes and grows and to some extent reflects the growth of the soul inside it as it learns. This is a physical aspect of this third dimension, okay, which we are in, or we're in, because we're starting to move away from it. They did not understand what sex was. They don't do their creations that way. No, sex is not necessary because we don't procreate as humans do. A lot of the energy is all mental. It is thought energy which is projected. If a need arises for a body is then becomes a vehicle for that person to use to do or to learn the lessons which that person needs to learn. So then the soul can enter the body at the time when the body materializes. This would not be true because this is not a physical materialization. This is an energy. Okay? The soul is the body. That's the point. So the soul materializes as it's supposed to do. Oh, hi, Lucille. Wait. Who? Hi, cousin Lucille and Frank. You are... Wait, what? You are... Your other cousin. Wait, so there's another cousin talking? Or with you? Okay. Okay. No, Doretta, there is no lifespan. Most of these races die when they decide that they're done learning, or they get rid of the vessel. Whereas the fourth dimension, they just slip into the dimension that they want to go into. There is no getting rid of something because the soul is the body. That's the point. These are the vessels that go over the body. So it's basically taking a person and putting clothes onto them. Oh, named after my grandfather. Nice. Are there families? Astrina, very good question. Actually, I have that. Hold on. Because I do talk about that. Hold on, hold on. Okay, so let me go. I'm going to get into the families, but let me go into this. You don't die as such. You disformulate your vehicle. For instance, when someone's usefulness has expired or they have met their lessons, there's no longer a need for that vehicle, so it is disformulated and the energy is returned to wherever it is needed. However, the entity's personality remains separate. So I explain this all the time in my readings. Your loved one had a specific role to play when they were here. So when they pass, that personality or that demeanor stays here. That does not mean that they are like that over there. Okay? They simply put on this personality, this vehicle, to play a role. Okay? I don't know if I wrote it. I think I did write it down, Astrina. I just need to find it. Okay, here. I found it. Yes, you do have families, because we are the same there as we are here on Earth. It's not a physical family, no, but we do tend to stay with familiar people, as you might say. We and I speak generally of all living beings, have friendships and familiarity being entities. Love and empathy are also part of the existence of the personality. Okay, so do you actually know when you are just formulating your vessel? I'm talking about that in the fourth dimension, Mary. Here we are not meant to know when we die. In these other realms, they know, because they're the one deciding, okay, I'm done learning this. I'm gonna slip and go somewhere else where I feel like I could be needed and learn from over there. Like I had said before, they had put Earth in a far off area where it cannot affect the other realms or dimensions, because we are so hey, no. Psst, psst. My cat's trying to get in my closet. Hold on. Psst. Hey, no. Sydney. No. Let's see if he listens. He has trouble listening to me. Sometimes. He's stubborn. Other times he'll listen. Sydney. Come here. Come here. He's just looking at me. Because he really wants in there. I don't know if it's a curiosity, but he knows what's in there, so I think it's just I got it open again. Okay, so I am going to talk about karma a little bit. Let me go back. Okay, so if the body is made up of energy and is mostly just the soul, the surroundings are physical and material, but really it's not. It's energy. Everything is energy. Everything's moving as energy. The group together needs to materialize their needs, and their karmatic is met through their group efforts. That would be their karmatic work. So they even have karmatic situations to work out as well. Everyone does. The way it was just explained to me, everyone does. And this would be also why a lot of the soul families come together and continue to follow one another. There is no food. Food is not necessary. They have entertainment and what could be called food, which is for entertainment. However, it's not necessary, because this is not a physical realm or existence that they were talking about. You've got to understand that this is pure energy, whereas in the physical world, your physical bodies require food because of their biological processing. But in this existence, energy is and doesn't require substance. It is energy and remains as true. On 3-dimension planes, physical requirements are met, whereas on this plane they are not. Let me see. They don't say they don't say inferior or anything like that. They just call Earth the lower planet. I guess, yeah, it's infantile. If you look around and you pay attention to how people are acting, it's very immature to the level of higher energy that they are at. They don't when they get very turned off by even the word violence or argument. Even when I mentioned about weapons, they had no idea what I was talking about. It's kind of like if somebody said something foreign to you in an alien language, you wouldn't understand what they were talking about, but it was something that was normal to them, so it makes sense to them. So yes, they do not like to be influenced by us. Let me lift you guys. Hey, look at the ceiling for a second. I need to get rid of something. Okay, you're back. That's a really hideous ceiling. Okay. Oh, why isn't it? Sorry, something popped up on my computer. So we act the way we do here on Earth because we choose, or because why? Yes, you are choosing to act. Okay, so say for example something happened. Let's just say, let me use an example. Say you have a friend that told another friend something intimate about you that they shouldn't have. Okay, how you react is how you're going to learn. Do you ignore it and understand that she is, at that learning level where she's still learning respect and love for someone else's emotions and how that person will feel if they do something like this? So it's stepping back from the situation and understanding how to actually act through it. And it goes back to being the better person, or Jesus's way of saying turn the other cheek. He's saying turn the other cheek because he's saying step back and try to understand it from the other person's view. They might not be doing it out of spite, but rather maybe there's something going on that they need some kind of attention, and they're using you as the gateway to be that attention or to gain that attention. Again, Caroline, I am not a medium. I went along with the medium title because it's so everyone can recognize what it means. But I'm getting tired of using that word. I'm getting tired of, being categorized as this medium, as this psychic, whatever, when really I'm a communicator. I talk to every alien race that can come to me and speak to me. And the only reason is because I am not here and I have that telepathic gateway to be able to do that. That's why I started the candles and being able to bring you those vibrations to help assess your life with the candles. Do we choose what happens in us and our plan for our life, even if it's being raped or molested or even murdered? Bridget, yes. When I pass away and I know a lot of you are going to have a hard time with this, but hey, listen, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but there was a few abusers in my life growing up. So I know firsthand, I should be the first one stepping up going, that makes no sense and that's bullshit. But coming from the view of when I died and looked at my life review, I understood that these personalities that are given to certain people are put on them for a reason. So the abuser is actually taking on a bigger role because they are agreeing to be a certain way, whether they want to do it or not. And it's only because we are to learn in a certain way. So say, for example, you have an abuser, and I had one growing up very close to me, and I'm not going to mention who it is. Anybody close to me will know exactly who I'm talking about. But I had to understand why she was doing it. What was I supposed to be learning out of it? And the main point of it all was, how do I love out of it? How do I continue to show love? So I could have taken a whole different route with it. I could have taken, getting into drugs or, I don't know, sleeping around, or like I could have been in a gutter drunk. But here I'm sitting with you. So something I learned out of it had to have helped me to create who I am. Falling asleep, bit sleep last night. Sending you much love. Okay, Rachel, honey. Oh, good, Victoria. Yeah, I think I don't remember our conversation, but and I need my glasses. I just looked at my phone and saw that I was squinting. Yeah, my I need my glasses. Um, but I understand now that the abuser takes on a bigger role, a heavier role. But they themselves, as taking on that abusive personality, has to understand why they took it on in the first place. What are they learning as well? That's the point. My grandmother was raped. I was raped. Uh, the memories of a rape, let's just put it that way, come through. I think I think the next live feed I do, I want to go over what's called imprinting. Maybe I can just dabble in it. Let me look and see if I can. I don't want to go too into the depth because that's really going to wrap your brains, is the imprinting. Some of you might have, this might be your very first physical life. And that is so hard to wrap my head around. Oh, I know, Bridget, I know it is because it's a type of understanding, and if you're not at that learning level, you're gonna have a hard time with understanding that, and that's okay. It's taking your time, being patient with yourself, with understanding how these things work. And coming from abuse, I'm the first one to stand in line and say, I get it now. Okay. So okay, I don't want to do the implanting or imprinting just yet. Um, I want to get you guys through some stuff. I would look at the live feeds as learning lectures. The books that are missing that you guys need. The books that you were supposed to have, but certain beings on this earth had taken from you. And I'm here to bring some of those books back, just like others like me that have volunteered to come to give those books to you. That's why we volunteered. Having been abused my whole life and not now, I don't know how to act even. Not even kidding. It's taking that experience and harnessing it, understanding that that was that other person's journey, and to not take those energies on as yourself, because in the end it wasn't your fault. You weren't the cause of it, but it's rather a learning. So like, say for example, you have somebody that just up and left you. Immediately you start blaming yourself, but really what's going on with the other person? Is there something that they're lacking that they needed, and in order to get it they needed to leave to figure it out? And it's not going back negative on you, it's understanding that deep down there's something wrong and it has nothing to do with you. But here on earth we immediately go to the ego and center ourselves as we are it. It's all about us. It's not supposed to be like that. When I get somebody that wants to heal or learn how to heal, I can't take them on as a student until I understand that they are of good moral standing. Meaning, like Christ consciousness, that they are doing it to heal for good, that they are using it to harness to help, not for the ego, not to... It's a whole detailed thing. But my point is, I really don't know where I was going with that. I know Maria was trying to get me to talk about it. But it's getting your mind to this Christ consciousness. It's understanding why these things happen and why they're meant to happen. Anytime it might be Mary, that flashing, it might be Maria, because she paces a lot. She moves around a lot. Only because the energy is just, I'm talking to multiple beings at once, and a lot of them aren't from this dimension, so she would be moving around a lot to try to get around that. Yes, I do healings. I actually do free healings at my shop. on people that are maybe having back issues or about to go into surgery or just got done with surgery. People come into your life for a reason. Yes, every person that's there, every event that happens is placed there because you placed it there. Let me see if I can do this and bring the camera down so that I can better explain it to you. But I don't have my cards. Oh, I could use paper. I'll use paper. Let me see. I'll use different colored paper. Make it interesting. Okay, let me move these. All right. So I'm going to use different colored paper. This is fun. I like doing this. Using my abilities to their best unique. I love demonstrating stuff. It gets you guys seeing it rather than just hearing it. Ooh, I need some blue. Let me grab some blue. This is all messed up now. I have papers. I need some blue. Okay. Let me do this. Give me some orange again. Okay. I think that's good. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me flip you guys around. Okay. All right. Oh, there's the camera. Okay. See my papers? All right. I'm going to try to do this. Let me take this off a minute. Okay. There's my papers. Okay. So your soul contract isn't laid out. Let me do this on my bed here. Your soul contract isn't laid out like this. All right. Somebody's sitting on my bed. Okay, can you guys move so I can do this? Thank you. All right, so your soul contract isn't laid out linear like this, okay? It's not a straight line. This leads to this, this leads to that, leads to that, leads so on and so forth, okay? Okay, so your soul contract is actually mapped out like this, okay? So it's like a map, okay? Let me get this cord out of the way so I can demonstrate this. Okay, so this event led to this person up here, and then back over here led to this event, and then you made a decision which led you over here. Okay, so it's mapped out like this, okay? It's not a straight line, so it's all over the place. So let me see if I can. All right, let me put this back on. Let me put you back up here and flip you over. Okay. Oh, I need to take my piece out of here. Okay. Okay, let me go back to what you guys were saying. Okay, so again, based off your daily decisions, you are making all these decisions, and they're leading to different events and so on and so forth, and different people. So based off your decision, you're learning at the way you want to learn according to your life review, or according to your soul contract. So your soul contract is actually mapped out on your hand. So if you take a photocopy and then 3 months later did another one, these lines are not going to look the same because they are different based off of the decisions you make throughout your day. It's going to change everything. Okay, so let me go back. All right, hold on. Deanna, I am loving this so much, but my head's starting to kill me. Amethyst on my forehead. Cindy, like you should back and watch from the beginning. Loving lectures, sharing knowledge, and I appreciate them so much. Seems like I just saw a flash behind you twice. Okay, I think I need to go forward a little bit here. Hold on. Wow, so what, a rapist walks away leaving you bloody on the floor, just know you learned a lesson and forgive. No, that's not what I was getting at. Not at all. And being raped myself, I take that horribly backlash. Like I don't understand or I don't get it, and I do. My grandmother, of all people, was raped and had a child out of that horrible incident. And she couldn't. I need a minute. Turin Baltic amber necklaces. I'm not sure what that is. If you send me a picture, I might be able to get it in for you. Giselle, it kind of is like leapfrogging, but it isn't. I love when you use props to explain stuff. Strina, crack me up. Okay. It is kind of like jumping around. You're not going linear. You're not going straight. You're going to jump around a lot. Yes, because it's like a mapping. You're going all over the place and you're understanding these things. Yeah, I think that too, Estrina. I think that they are not getting, or certain people are not getting what I'm saying. They will have to deal with what they did wrong. Just because someone is hurt in an instant of abuse does not mean that that other person gets away with it. Perhaps their journey or their learning is to put them somewhere to understand why they did it. Going back to my grandmother getting, hurt in that kind of instance and the horrific stuff that she had to go through, of course, it would anger anyone. And I don't know if that person ever got arrested or not. She really didn't really talk about it. Yeah, they are attacking, and who said that? Brenda, you're exactly right. They attack the body, and how the soul reacts to that incident is key. So do you allow them to, and maybe that's the point, do you allow them to continue stealing your joy by replaying that instance over and over again, or do you understand that there's something seriously wrong with their learning concept here, and they did something bad, and it's you saying this happened, but maybe I can help others with it. Maybe that's the point, is to reach out and help others that have dealt with this type of horrible energy. Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel too. Jackie. Um, Healing necklaces. Turin, I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe you can send me like a picture or something. I can definitely get them in. Anything that you guys need, we can get it into the shop for you, or I can just create it myself, which half the shop is done by me anyway. So I'm not saying anybody is to get away with anything. It's more how you react as a soul. Do you come out of it in love and help others, or do you continue to allow them to steal and take from you? And I decided not to allow that to happen, especially with all the abuse that I grew up with. I grew up with abuse. I was raped. I had to deal with, what my grandmother went through. My grandfather wasn't the greatest, and, he ended up abusing her. It just is, but you know what? I forgave my grandfather. I understood that this was something that he agreed to, that he himself even learned from. He came out of it as a good man. Granted, what he did to my grandmother was horrible, but the thing is, God teaches us to forgive. Jesus came down here himself to teach. Look what they did to him. If he can forgive, are you above Jesus to not forgive? I don't understand. I think I just can't wrap my head around it. I forgave what happened to me. I forgave what happened to my grandmother with my grandfather. Eventually, you're going to understand why it happened. Eventually, that life review will play out, and those people will feel what you felt, and so on and so forth. Let me read. No one gets away. Yeah, actually, Brenda's very right. No one gets away with these bad behaviors, these negative behaviors. They eventually are put in your shoes, whether it's here or there. Sometimes God will allow you to see the karmatic comeback or the karmatic learning. You might be able to see it in full view. He'll give you that gracious notion of, this happened to you, so we're granting that you see this play out here instead of having to wait to go back to see it play out. And that, I guess that would be equivalent of somebody going to jail for something that they did, or, it just depends on the situation. And it does. It takes a while for a victim to forgive. But again, I go back to, Jesus had probably the most horrific stuff happen to him, and he himself forgave and rose above that negativity. And I'm not above him, so I have to understand that, the things that happen to me are very minimal to what happened to him. And if I can't forgive, then that's like saying I'm above him, and I don't want to do that. Exactly, and Jamie, you're right. And actually, the thing is, when you go through this life review, you feel everything the other person felt. So, like, for example, when my grandmother died, the funny thing is, and it's not actually funny, but my grandmother went through what's called a one-sided life review. And let me explain this. For 18 hours straight, I had to see my grandmother tortured mentally through what's called a one-sided life review, where she was going through every scenario right down to the 1978 flood that happened here. She went through all of it. She went through her rape. She went through what my grandfather did to her. And then one point she kind of just did this to her arms, and we were like, Graham, what are you doing? She goes, don't you see all the water? Look at all that water. The flood that she always sat like this outside her, or inside her window. She would always sit like this and look out in her apartment, and that water would have been at the level of where her window was at. And to see somebody go through a life review in full view, and you standing there in the physical notion of watching them go through it. I mean, there was times where she grabbed my sister and bit her and pulled my sister's hair, or she would grab my arm and not let go and dug her fingernails into me, because she was going through that rape again. And she kept saying, you're going to get what you deserve. You have kids. And it was horrible to watch. We sat there for 18 hours watching her go through this. And there was answers that we got confirmed, that we kind of assumed, and she just kind of confirmed them through the one-sided life review. It was intense, it was draining, and it was horrifying to watch. It was horrifying to watch. At one point, she grabbed my sister, and I have a video. My sister said, you need to videotape this. Like, we need to get this so Mom knows what she's talking about. And there's one point in the one video where she grabs my sister, and her facial expressions change. It looks nothing like my grandmother. Like, her nose got real big, like pushed out, and she looked at my sister and said, how did she put it? You are preventing me from going on. You are preventing me from going on. And we just kind of looked at each other, and then when I watched the video and I sent it to her, I said, watch Grandma's face. Like, her facial feature, it's like when I channel. The facial features changed, the eye color changed, her eyebrows got real different. Like, it wasn't my grandmother. And what I think happened was, I think it was her guide coming through, and I think her guide was a male, and he came through to tell my sister to stop petting her, to try to calm her down, that she needs to go through this life review so that she can easily pass on. I even told my sister she's leaving early morning, tonight or early morning. They're going to be taking her, and that's how those things work. Brenda, no one in my family is like me. Actually, a lot of them are very close-minded. I had to walk away from a lot of them. Terry, yeah, I think I did show you guys. Yeah, it was remarkable to go back. But I understand why she went through the one-sided life review. Well, I call it one-sided, and I think I think I got that from Maria actually, but don't quote me on that. I really don't know how I got one-sided life review. I really do think it was Maria, but don't quote me on that. Because I knew her death was coming soon, and I had asked God. Actually, no, I didn't ask. I made a demand. You don't make demands on God, but this was one that I was making a demand on. And I didn't care what happened. Like it was a demand that I felt he not so much owed me, but I felt he needed to do this, and he knew that I knew that he needed to do this. If you guys can follow me, I had said to him, her death is coming. I know it's coming. And Yvonne, if you're on, it says 33. It's my number. 333 is my number. Her and I's is 33, 34. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, so I had said, and it was mainly, I was really drilling it in this request. Let's put it that way, a request. I had put it in 2 weeks when I knew she was in the hospital and she was not making sense, and I knew it was coming soon, like they were getting her ready, and her mind was, you could tell, it's kind of like when I sit and do a reading, you can tell I'm not physically there. I kind of was just sitting back, and like I sit back and listen, and she was doing that a lot where she was spacing out, and I'd go, Graham, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? She'd go, that man. He keeps telling me to do what he's doing. And I'm like, wow, if she doesn't get the concept of me being a medium or a communicator, she is now. So I had made the request that she does not go to plateau. She does not go through life review unless it's needed, specifically needed. She was to go straight to heaven, no stops, no goes. That's it. Because if anybody deserved to be there, it was her. The door was to be opened, or I was shutting this all down. No more communication, no more helping, no more healing. I was shutting it down, and I was going to come up with something else to do. And I was very adamant about it, that she meant that much to me, and that her getting right into heaven was not even a request, it was a demand. I was really upset, and I really felt that she needed to just go right to, because she deserved that reward of all the stuff that she went through. So she kept talking about this man being in the room, and he was very disguised. I couldn't pick up if, it was my grandfather. It wasn't my grandfather, because she wouldn't have reacted that way. She just kept trying to get out of bed to get to him. Said she kept having to go towards where he was at. He's trying to tell me to do what he's doing. Just was constant repeating, I have to go over there. And there was a couple times we had to keep her pinned to the bed, because she would try to get out of her clothes, which I feel like she was trying to take her vessel off. It wasn't the clothes, or her gown, I guess, from the hospital. She would have her foot draped, and she can't walk. She was in a wheelchair, so her using her legs was kind of like, what is happening, because she doesn't use her legs. It was just bursts of these energies of trying to get her out of bed. Well, here's the thing, when you ask for a request like that, someone can't just bypass plateau or bypass their life review of learning. There's a specific energy that takes them right to where they need to go, and it's not angels, it's not spirit guides, and it's not loved ones. The man she kept talking about was Jesus, and my close connection with him, it would make sense as to why he would be there, and not say like Mary or somebody, or one of the saints or somebody, you know what I mean? He was there from the beginning. He was the one telling her to do what he was doing. He was the one that came and got her, and was masking himself, because the second she would tell me who he was, or I would pick up on who he was, I would know exactly what was going on. And I think he was masking it so that I could go through this experience with her. And take it all in to its core raw nature as it was supposed to be and meant to be played out. It wasn't until I think it was 2 days after her funeral that it was revealed to me who he was the whole time. And it made sense. So my request was fulfilled. Happy to say. Where do you go or do other than go straight to heaven? Most people tend to go to a life review. Say, for example, you have somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia. The mind is still in that concept after dying, so they go to a healing area where their mentality is healed in a calm stature, where they can better understand where they're at. It's kind of like going to a hospital. Negative energies or ones that commit suicide or overdoses tend to go to a what I call God's waiting area or waiting room, where they review the life review and understand that these things don't need to happen, that you can overcome them. And again, it's going to go back to the imprinting that I want to discuss in the next live. Where a lot of these lives are kept on record, and anyone can go back and review those lives on the record, like a recording. It's kind of like a network hard device that everybody's life, how it's played out, is recorded, even the ones that didn't play out. So when you do go through a life review, you not only review the life you chose, but also the lives you could have chose. And that's the point. The point is, to the life review, is to understand what you learned, and not so much God judging you, but you judging yourself. The dark room that you speak of is Plateau. It's dark, desolate, but it's very calming, very peaceful, and that's the waiting room that I keep trying to articulate. And yes, Caroline, you're speaking of the right records. All these lives are recorded and can be reviewed at any point in time, but here's where it gets iffy. Since we're talking about it, I might as well just bring up some of it. A lot of you are not going to be able to wrap your head around it. I don't know, though. You guys are kind of impressing me tonight, so there are things called imprints or assistants, which are not true physical incarnations. Or Brenda, I am my worst judge. I think everybody is. And we tend to be when we go through our life review. They can be withdrawn information from the God, I always say it wrong, Akashic records, and imprint this information into their soul, and it will then be their experience. Meaning, have you ever watched a movie and you took it on as, like you got so engulfed in the movie that you almost took it on as your own life, like it happened to you? This is somewhat kind of the same. It's watching someone's life play out, and it's being imprinted onto the soul, and that soul then takes it on as they had done it. So this would go back to, hold on, let me find it. I wrote about, hold on. For the experience was actually lived, even though it was not lived by the vehicle you would be personally speaking in, or speaking to. However, all the information would be the same as if you had actually been talking to the very soul which had been in the vehicle at the time. Imprints become, in reality, a part of that soul and are so carried with that soul. So this would explain the theory that sometimes more than one person appears to have lived the same previous lifetime. For instance, several people coming and saying they are Cleopatra, or several people saying they are Neapoleon or Caesar. For there is no proprietorship to these imprints. They are open to all, and so it becomes useful to try to pinpoint who was actually that person, for it is meaningless. It does not matter. souls are playing out lives so that other souls can learn from them. So when you go to this imprinting unit and you watch somebody's life play out, it is actually being imprinted onto that soul as if they played it or they had lived it out themselves. So this is a difference between incarnation and imprinting. There's a huge difference. Hold on a minute. So the question is asked, would different people perhaps perceive the imprint in a different way? We would say that human experience is like a filter and colors these perceptions which pass through it. So if an experience in that Cleopatra incarnation was found objectionable to the consensus of the person relating that, it would either be deleted or changed in order to present it in such a manner as to not cause the disruption of the entity. So it's almost kind of like self-editing. So you can watch a life and be objective to it, but if you become objected to it, then that is being deleted and then represented so that you can better understand why it's happening. Do we get to choose who we can imprint on our souls? Yes, you can, actually. It would be just different ways of looking at the scenario. It would be presented in the most accurate portrait possible, but also in the most comfortable one. It is simply a matter of acquiring sociality, experiences, law, regulations, customs in order to carry out effectively in one's incarnation. So what's the point? Does it matter if it can be proved or not, reincarnation? And one could go for millennia in tracing one's past lives, quote unquote, and in this respect it would be totally useless. However, there is much that can be learned from these recalls, not only from a personal point of view for the regressee, but for those who read and heard, much knowledge can be shared so that there is much use for everyone. By reliving past lives, some people receive a lot of benefit in their personal lives, such as understanding their personal relationship with others. How is it decided what imprints you are going to have or someone else is going to have? And are there certain imprints chosen for certain individuals? The imprint is determined by what the incarnation's goals are to be. For example, if one were to want to become a leader, like a president, one might have imprints from various levels of leaders, from tribal leaders on up through possibility past presidential leaders, maybe a mayor, maybe a leader of thieves. If the emphasis is on leading, many imprints of a leading nature could be used so that the entity is familiar with the aspect of or the idea of what the job of leading is. There is also the secondary and even tyranny advantage of learning humility, patience, fun, and entertainment. All of the multitudes of experiences are in these imprints. So Trump would be an example of this. Do we get to choose? So we are learning through other people's experience. Yes, exactly. Because a lot of us don't want to go through so many lives, so we kind of look back on other people's lives so that we can learn from what they went through. The effect is to experience multiple lives, maybe simultaneously, maybe serially, but the effect is to learn lessons from other people's experience. The lessons are shared. The experiences each of us are having in this lifetime now will be available at the end of these lifetimes to be imprinted for use by anyone who would have a use for them. It's simply borrowing books from a library. And if you would consider each life a book and reading and understanding it instantaneously. And that's all I'm going to say, because I mean it goes really in depth and detailed into all this stuff, this imprinting, but we can discuss it more at a later time. And I know a lot of you guys are getting tired because it's 9 o'clock at night, and I have a huge group reading I got to do tomorrow in the morning. Oh, I have to get up in the morning. But we don't know if it was actually our life or someone else's we are imprinting. Let me show you an example. Say you're having a life and you're getting like remembrances of a past life. You can trace it back and they can give you breadcrumbs on tracing it back. I'm trying to show you guys one of my past lives. Okay, so for example, this is, I don't know if I can get it to, let me die this down a little. Maybe I can do it that way. Can you guys see that? Okay. That's one of my past lives. That's Anne Boleyn. Okay? And then, locally, Brenda, yeah, the stars would be our map locally and historically, but not our soul map. No. They're a map to leading us to other dimensions, things like that. Other sources of trade galactically. This would be my daughter, right down to the chin and nose, eyebrows. I mean, this. Let me lighten it up a little. Maybe you guys can see a little bit better. There. There you go. So you can see her chin. And she still acts like her. So this would be a life if you look like the past life, then you had that life. If you're getting very detailed memories and you were in the midst of everything, that would be a past life. But if you're kind of picking up on stuff, it's really, and I think I'm getting into the midst of trying to explain this better to you guys, where you guys have had imprints and actual lives. Okay, so that's what I want to get into the next lecture. Yeah, Brenda, the stars are just like a mapping. It's not so much who we are in correlation with the stars, but it's a mapping of how to find one another, if that makes sense, galactically finding one another. So that is it, guys. That's all I have. Oh, it's okay, Gerard. I'm actually closing up. Remember, guys, the video goes right to my wall, so you guys can watch it at any point in time. It's not a big deal. You can see it at any point in time. Okay. I love you guys. Get some sleep. Does anybody have any questions before I go? How do I find a past life pic? I found mine only because my guide led me to who I was, and not only that, I saw it in my life review, so those visions kind of just popped up again. I am tired, but it's okay. Like I just have that group. If I wasn't doing that group reading tomorrow, I would stay up a little longer and have cereal with you guys. You know, we'd all just go get our bowls and have cereal. We'll have to do a live feed where we actually do go get cereal and eat it. I won't get to see you guys, but at least you can send me pictures. And then I can show you guys everybody's pictures they're sending me. Yeah, Deanna, that could be a very good possibility. Well, I love you guys. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go get some sleep because I have to get up to do that group reading, and Yvonne's my little assistant again. She loves going to these group readings with me. We have fun. It can be a slumber party. Yeah, we'll just stay up all night. We'll do like an 8-hour live feed. Everybody be think we're crazy. They're nuts. Yeah, the live feed always goes to my wall, and then if you can't find it after so long, if you just go to, and I might be able to show you guys. Let me go to my wall here, so you guys can always know how to find me. All right, so let me here, let me get rid of those. All right, all right, so. Here, when you hit more on my wall, hit videos, and then go to my videos, it'll say Christina's videos. All the live feeds are here, as well as other videos I've made. But all the videos are here, all the live feeds, the meditation. Yeah, they're all here. All the live feeds are here. I've gotten rid of a lot of them, but they're all here. So that's it. Let me switch over. Okay, let me do this. Oh, that was not how that was supposed to go. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. Whee! Alright. I almost broke my computer. Alright. Let me see. I had a dream about my father-in-law the other night, and it made me so happy. It was the first time. Rochelle, anytime you have a loved one come to you in dream, it is actually them. Cereal's awesome. Yes, it is. What kind of cereal do you like? Well, let's see. I like Apple Jacks, Fruit Loops, Sugar Smacks. My favorite is Cocoa Krispies. I like Cheerios. I'm a kid when it comes to cereal. I can't eat that healthy crap. There is one that Eden got when she was in, because Eden eats like straight organic stuff. She got this organic Cinnamon Toast Crunch stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so in love, and it's good for me because it's organic. Hard rain on my route. Oh, I wish I had rain here. I would be going right to sleep. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is so yummy. It was just so cool to feel absolutely sure it was him. Exactly, that's why they come to you. Honey Smacks are the bomb. I know it's all sugar, it's horrible. Sugar's like crack. You guys have no idea. If you, literally, there is research that sugar is just like crack. It's worse than crack. I lost around 29 pounds. Actually, I thought I wasn't gonna wear a sweater, and you guys would be asking me what I have on my arm, which is itching me right now for some reason. And I do have to take it off because it's getting old. I had it on for 2 days, so that's my patch. And look how gross that is. It's all the icky stuff that came out of me, like the last 2 days. It's so gross. That's that Thrive I'm on. Lucky Charms, I totally eat the marshmallows. I'm such a goober when it comes to that. May I please be put on your prayer healing list? Hold on, I need to go back. Somebody's going above you. Absolutely, Karen, we will. Karen, we're going to put Karen on the prayers for our prayers for tonight, if you guys can do that. Get off the sugar. Sugar's crack, man. I just had a fish sandwich, and I was like, oh my god, I need some chocolate. I'm telling you. And I just open up my little side table drawer, and there's chocolates galore. It's horrible. But the thing is, once you start on Thrive, you don't want sugar as much. My sugar has depleted since I started Thrive. I don't want it as much. Like I used to eat it like every night. It was horrible. Milk and some kind of chocolatey substance. Oh my gosh, shut up. They sell just the marshmallows? That's crazy. That's so funny. My family are strict vegans, so when I go away for the weekend, I go rogue. Farah, I love when you use the word rogue. Cracks me up. I have sugar in about a pound a year. Oh my goodness, you guys are so funny. It makes me not want to get off, because I like just talking to you guys. I don't eat sugars at all. Lucky. How did you train yourself not to eat sugar? I think that's like one indulgence that this body wants is just sugar. It's horrible. I'm a vegan rogue. I think the problem is, from where I come from, there is a plasma substance that I eat. And I'm gonna actually share this video. Hold on, guys. Remember when I made the galactic candle at my shop? I'm thinking about reposting that so you guys understand what the galactic candle is. Well, technically you're the only one doing the talking or listening. This is true. But if I feel like the problem is I'm reading but I can hear you guys here, so it is kind of like you guys are talking to me. But if I have something sugar I need to do salty after. See, I can't do salty. I'm okay with the, I think it's because of where I come from. There's a plasmidy substance that we take in, and it has like that sugary effect to it. And I think that's why I'm always like diving deep for sugar stuff. Because pudding, forget it. Like, it's like I'm at home when I eat pudding because it takes me back to what I used to eat. Lindsay's the same way. She's like, did we eat like plasmidy stuff? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, why is it every time I eat pudding, I'm just like at home? I was like, it's like talking to myself. I have to tell you guys another thing. There is a little, I don't remember who wrote me the email. Somebody sent me an email and said that they had bought a candle and their son recognized one of the symbols on the candle from his planet or from where he's from. I just thought that was really cool. I was like, see? It's working. Irish chocolate. Really? Irish. Gerard, you should send some to my shop. Some Irish chocolaties. Watermelon with Himalayan salt on it. Really? Maybe I will try that. Watermelon with Himalayan salt on it. I am still holding spaces. I am not home. I love both salt and sugar. Had to make a choice. I can tolerate salt, but like maybe on like eggs or something, but not on everything I eat. English chocolate. I don't know, Farah. Gerard's from Ireland. He's gonna argue with that because he's from Ireland, which is so cool. Can you bring the galactic candle tomorrow? Larry, you're gonna be, oh, of course you're gonna be there. You know what? Here, oh crap, I left my equipment at the shop too. Here's what I'll do, because I'm supposed to inbox, or I'm supposed to text Yvonne. I could tell her we need to swing by. But here's the thing, Larry. I have to custom make them. None of them are made. I actually handcraft them for the person. Nobody's candle is going to be exactly the same. There's going to be something different about it. Even the slightest little thing might be different on it. So what I could do is show them the video at your group reading of how it's made, and then if they want to order one, we'll just put it on their order form and then have it shipped to them. We could do that. Do I message you my candle? Deanna, I'm confused. Are you trying to order one? Because if you order a galactic candle, all you have to do is go on the website under the shop tab. They're in there. You can order easily from the website. Just order, and then in the notes, as you're purchasing on the divinemedium.com, just put in the notes what you want it to do. Weight loss, abundance, healing, whatever you need it to do. There's nothing here on this planet that allows me to make changes until hearts change. Yeah, that's what I'm having trouble with this week too, is people listening. And I feel like I have to repeat readings over and over again because they're not getting it. So, yep. Farah, as she likes to say, I went rogue today. Oh, good gosh. Oh, boy. Going rogue. Okay, well, I am going to go to bed now. I'm going to go cuddle my fur babies. My little animals. I went rogue. Farah. I feel like I need to slap them upside the head. I want to do that with drivers. That's how I feel when drivers act like idiots, because the problem is you're gonna danger somebody if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. And they both have similar symbols on them. Victoria, are you talking about the triangle? The triangle with the one slit goes on every single candle. That's the vibration. That's what makes the candle do its thing. Where's Jonathan? Jonathan is upset with me. I will show you why really quick. Yvonne came and helped us, but I am about to show you why. See our nice pretty bed we just got? Let's see if I can turn this light on. Okay, so apparently Sydney had to open my closet doors because he has to open all the doors in the house because he's curious. And there he is on his little throne. I don't know if I have this. I don't know if I have this light plugged in. Oh yeah, I do. So there's Sydney on his new throne. I just got that chair. Hi Sydney, what you doing? Say hi everybody. Hello. He's the cat that I healed his blindness. And that's where Jonathan would be. So we tend to try to just close this. And I think he just flew past my camera. And there he goes again. Yeah. He doesn't. That's my hand. That was my hand. He likes to, and he's probably going to open the door again. Because he likes it open. Okay, so I'm going to close these. Because that's just weird. Because Sydney has to get into my closet all the time. So we got a new bed, and that's my side over there. Yes, I have McDonald's iced tea because I'm addicted to it. But we just got a new bed, and the frame is coming Friday. But Jonathan does not like when we move stuff around, and our bed used to be right on this wall, right to where he's at. And I didn't like him on top of me while I was sleeping, so we moved away from him. Far away from him. So, yeah, that's why. So he's a little upset with me. Okay, so, yay. So, yeah, he's a little upset with me. So, hope you get rest and have a good reading. I will. Definitely gonna go watch some TV and go to sleep. Oh, I have to tell you guys one more thing. Okay, so I think Justin's getting kind of used to things happening around the house. And we kind of... Okay, this is what happened. It was in the middle of the night. I had just woken... Like, I had just gotten woken... He and I both just got woken up. And because the TV went doo-doo. So we're going like this in the middle of the night, looking for the remote. 'Cause we thought one of us, like, laid on it and turned on the TV. Well, we couldn't find the remote. And then it popped in my head, oh, I bumped the pillow, or I switched my pillow and it bumped the remote off the side table next to me and it's on the floor. Well, then in the middle of the night I also took my shirt off, so my shirt was on top of the remote and the remote being on the floor. So the TV shouldn't have been turned on. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so the TV turned on by itself, and he just looked at me and I looked at him and he goes, well, that's interesting. So we started talking about it in the car, and there was something I didn't tell him because I had just woken up and I didn't really sit there and talk about it. But we're in the car and I go, so last night was interesting. He's like, yeah. And I said, well, so right before I woke up, I heard Bernadette's going to be pregnant again. And if everybody knows what I'm talking about, anybody that's watched Big Bang Theory knows who Bernadette is. And Bernadette had just had her baby. We were on the season where she had just had her first baby. I don't know if she's pregnant again. And I don't think there's any seasons yet of talking about her being pregnant. But it was my grandmother, and I think she was trying to prove a point to me. Excuse me. I think she was trying to prove a point to me because she was talking to me all week long. And I think she was trying to prove to me that, you know, this is really her talking to me and not somebody else. And, so we said in the car that we can't wait till the new seasons come out because we're kind of waiting to see if she was right, you know, and we want to see if she, you know, if she's trying to tell me the future about Bernadette having a baby. Stupid. And right when I was in the midst of that dream and she says Bernadette's is having a second baby, the TV went off and it woke me and him up. So I just thought that was a little coincidental. It's a little weird. So we're talking about this. He goes, well, there is something I didn't tell you. And I was like, oh, what? And he said, the one night he had done he had done night shift and then he was off for like 4 days. So he was still on this night shift feeling where he wasn't getting enough rest. So he said he went downstairs at like 2 in the morning to get something to eat. And I always leave the little nightlight on and the radio on. And actually, I can easily take you guys. I'll just show you. Is that? No, that's my foot. Okay. Here, I'll just switch the camera so you can see. Okay, so we're going downstairs. And I'm just going to show you so you guys have a better visual. Okay. Okay, so this light is always on and the radio is always on. Okay, so those things are always on. And the reason I was on live feed, that's why I didn't get downstairs and turn it on for you, or for him. But our new puppy, I always have him entertained with the light and the music. Well, Justin said he came down at 2 in the morning and turned it off because he felt like it didn't need to be on. So he says right around 3 o'clock in the morning, like an hour later, he went down to take his food back down to put it in the sink and get a drink. He said he came back down in the light when the radio were back on. And he said, and I know you didn't do it because you were sleeping right next to me. And he goes, I just felt like I had to tell you that. And it would make sense. My grandmother would have done that. If I had something set in stone, like, I want this on, she would have put it back on. Like, she would have been like, knock it off. She wants it on, leave it on. So I thought that was kind of funny. So he's kind of getting used to things happening around him. I feel bad half the time, like when something happens and he's like alone dealing with it, or he waits a couple days to tell me about it. We had something happen the other night and I felt like I shouldn't have left like the room. I went to go pee and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have left the room so soon, but I'm so used to this stuff, it doesn't faze me. So it's kind of, I have to kind of start keeping myself in check. Like, he's not used to this, so I probably shouldn't just up and leave him, like in the midst of it, because it doesn't scare me. This stuff doesn't scare. I know what they're doing and why. So anyway, that's my story. Hope it entertained you. So okay, I'm gonna go and sleep and let my puppies go pee-pees, and I'm going to try to get some sleep. I normally don't get any sleep, but I don't, when he does night shift, I don't sleep at all. I don't get to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. But I'm going to try to sleep. I'm going to try to, because I have this group reading tomorrow, and I want to be at least somewhat rested. I don't really have to sleep. Communication, like when I go into communication, time speeds up. And I get revitalized or re-energized, I should say. So I don't feel tired when I'm in the middle of reading, but as soon as I come out, I crash. So it's a good thing I'm not driving that far. So I'm excited to go tomorrow and see everybody. They seem like a really cool group. They seem happy and cheerful, and I love groups like that. I like ones that are happy and excited, and they like talking and learning, whereas you get some groups that are just like... It's just like... Is there anything going on there? Are you guys, what's any emotion? So it's, you never know what kind of group you're getting, but this group I have a feeling they're going to be a lot of fun. So tomorrow should be interesting. All right, guys. I'm going to go sleepy now. Maybe have a sugary snack. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. I should just continue drinking my water, which is in a soup cup, which Farah pointed out last time I had this cup. She said, you're drinking out of a soup cup. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. It's a soup cup. I like my soup cup. It's purple. It's Justin's favorite color. That's why I like it. And it's big. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going home. All right. If you guys have any questions, just get me on Messenger. Or on here. And I have a feeling you guys are making comments. And I am not even seeing them. What? Hold on. Where's the reading tomorrow? Where's my reading tomorrow? Hooversville. Please answer Kathy before you go. Hold on. Somebody just yelled. Did you guys hear that? Kathy said her husband saw a troll standing by his bed. He said it had long white hair and a beard and it sent chills up his back. No, it's not a joke. Hello, kitty. Fairies, trolls, all this stuff. Very, very real. Unicorns, very real. Actually, they just found a skeleton of a unicorn not too long ago. They did an article on it. Actually, they just came out with a video of a fairy. Mermaids, real. A lot of this fairy tale stuff or fantasy, very real. Where do you think it's coming from? Your guides? Yeah. They're trying to show you other dimensions, other realms that are coming into our own realm, that are blending with ours. So, very, very real. So let me see, what are you guys saying? What's the troll doll in the house? Thought it was the radio. No, Farrah, that was not the radio. The radio's playing a song and I heard some guy downstairs. I can't remember. I don't know if he moaned or what he said. It's very weird. Hello, kitty. Run. What are you doing, Ranny? What are you doing, Ranny? You say, Mommy, it's time for bed. You go to bed. This is Ren. I'll show you guys Ren. Ren, where you going? Where you at, Ren? Hi, Ranny. Where's she going? Oh, what? What you want? You tell everybody, I sit pretty. Look at me. And I'm gonna go up and see my brother. There you go. Gonna go see your brother. Maxie, you look a mess. Tell your brother he looked like a mess. Tell him. Oh, Maxie. Mommy's gonna have to brush your hair. Oh my goodness. Ren, you giving your brother loving. Oh my goodness. You love him so much. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Isn't he just adorable? Hello, Ren. Hello, my love. Hello, my love. Justin calls him the soul eater from his eyes. Yeah, Farrah did sound like hay. What are you doing? Are you gonna lay down? You gonna be a good boy? Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay. Yeah, it sounded like hay or something. Yeah, movie ideas do come from somewhere. There's a lot of movies I was just like, wow. I bet you they had no idea where that came from. What are you doing? What? He's such a ham. Yeah, Justin calls him the soul eater with his eyes. What is that ring on your finger? Oh, everybody thinks that Justin proposed. He didn't. It's just a ring. It's just a ring my mom had. She was getting rid of it. So I grabbed that puppy right up because I liked it. Ooh. I don't know. I just was drawn to it, so I just started wearing it. I think because it fit me. I'm like a 4.5. There's no... Rings do not fit these tiny hands. Yes, Avatar was very soul-inspiring. Yes, it was. Dolly, my dog, loves to watch me. Probably because he knows, or she knows I can hear her. Also, I don't know if you know this, Deanna, but my aunt's name was Dolly. Spawn of Satan.
Where you at, Rannies? I see you. There you are. What are you doing, Babaloo? Huh? What are you doing? Are you trying to get lots of lovies? Oh, you come up here? Come on.
He's Justin's buddy. I just played the Beyonce Put a Ring on It. Actually, we were going to have... Caitlin came up with an idea, my assistant. She said she was going to buy him flowers, come to the house, get on one knee, and say, Justin, will you go ring shopping with me? And when I told him this, he said he would have... Just because it was so funny, he would have totally went. So I think she still has it planned that she's going to do it. That's so weird, Deanna. Yeah. My Aunt Dolly, I miss her. So funny. Yeah, Justin thought that was hysterical. He even started laughing. He was like, yeah, I would have totally went with her. Just because of that whole... That would have been totally funny. He goes, that would have done me in. Oh my gosh, Connie. Lucifer? Really? It's so messed up. Where do you guys come up with these names? Ren is too loving to be Spawn of Satan. Oh no, you don't know him on his bad side. Yeah, Estrina, you're very right. Marriage wasn't supposed to be the way it is. To me, it goes back to ownership. So when you sign a paper in a marriage, it shows ownership over that person, like their property, not like a soul doing a partnership of learning together and growing. So I think that's why I always was turned off by marriage. And I think that's why I'm not really making a big deal about if Justin proposes or not, because he, in his eyes, he had even said, in his eyes, we're married. It's just a piece of paper, he said. Get me a ring pop. He could give me a branch and I'd be good. I could care less. I'm not here to push him. I mean, we're already living like married couple, so that's awesome, Victoria. Some people it works for them, some people it doesn't, and I'm not in a rush to do anything with it. We're happy with the way things are, and if he proposes, he proposes, but we're happy with how things are. Yeah, I'm committed to him and he's committed to me. So, and I mean, I know he has said to friends, like, and I've overheard him, we're married without the paper. So he considers us married already. He's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. There's nobody for me. There's nobody for him. Like, this is it. This is our life with our fur babies. Our little fur babies.
Rannies. What's that about? What? Oh, they're so tired.
This is what they do to me when they want to go to bed. Yeah. Alright, guys. I need to get these little guys to bed.
Say night-night.
Somebody's standing in front of them. Okay, guys, move.
Okay, go sleepies. We'll go night-night. Okay? Ren, say bye. Say bye. Maxie Doodle.
I gotta comb your hair before bed. You look rough and tumbled, buddy. Goodness gracious. Oh, I can't wait to show Justin this live feed. He's gonna crack up. Those are his buddies. Especially Annie downstairs. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go get Annie to go pee, and the boys go out to pee, and then I'm heading to bed. Wait for Justin to get home. Alright, I love you guys. I'll see you at the next live feed. And the next time Justin is off, we'll do another live feed. I can only do it when he is off, because, we don't see each other as it is, because all he does is work and all I do is work, and half time we're like 2 ships passing in the night, because he either does night and I do day, so we don't, by the time I get home he's already left for his night shift, so like I haven't seen him. So like it could go a week and I won't see him, so so I try to do these when he's working at night. Oh, excuse me. So, all right. I will talk to you guys later, and I love you, and you guys have an awesome night. Okay, guys. Peace out, Cub Scout.